kid, the feminine divine in the church meant motherhood, represented by the Madonna, the Virgin Mary, Mother of God. We have a statue of her right back there. So from the Catholic Church, I was taught that the highest achievement for feminine spirituality was to be a mother. This was further impressed upon me by growing up in a matriarchal Sicilian family where my mother, grandmother, and aunt all had statues of the Madonna on their vanities. Right next to their hairbrush and mirror, lipstick, and bottle of Vinate stood the Madonna in serene perfection. Sunday school and scripture readings from Mass left me with a sense that any other women were either kitchen help or beleaguered former prostitutes. I personally felt little connection to what the church was telling me. As I matured, I felt that the lack of feminine divine in the church caused a profound unbalance within the institutions of Christianity, as with all the major religions. And I saw that unbalance reflected in the male-dominated institutions of the world. I saw that men were the only ones leading and making decisions for all people's lives. But no matter what was decided, we remained in constant conflict with others. I felt drawn to a spirituality that directly pushed against that unbalance, and I defiantly wore the label of Wiccan. I studied God's religions to find feminine divine in history. I practiced Wicca to learn to connect with the balance of the natural world through the rhythms and energies present on Earth. Wicca has many rituals, mostly tied to astronomical and agricultural events, and many goddess names to choose from. The only canon is, do what you will, harm none. But while leaders and authors of Wiccan teachings claim an ancient before Christianity lineage, too much of that tradition was systematically decimated, and its practitioners burned at the stake. I found that most of what is practiced today has been recreated within the last 100 years or so, and mostly based on folklore. In seeking out a community to participate with, I was disappointed to find a great deal of fragmentation or closed groups that were largely self-serving. As I look back at my experiences, I realized I was constantly comparing to what had been culturally instilled in me, Christianity. But I was trying to be anything but a woman oppressed within a patriarchal religion. Over time, I realized that expressing the divine in the other extreme did not bring balance. And in the end, the anti-institutional, anti-Christianity thrill wore off. And all the astronomical agricultural rituals became burdensome and meaningless, especially as the United States reacted to September 11th. Then, one day, not long ago, I found myself standing right there in that front choir loft pew. Someone convinced me it would be fun to sing with a church choir. I thought, how patriarchal could it be if the priest was openly gay, right? At the time, we rehearsed in the parish hall, so I hadn't been in the sanctuary until that first Sunday morning. I had no idea, but it was Christ the King Sunday, and Bishop Stephen T. Lane was presiding. I stood right next to his wife and struggled to keep my place with all the different books and pieces to sing. During a relaxed moment during the service, probably during the sermon, I looked out over the congregation and wondered what they all believed and what drew them to Christianity. Then I spotted the Madonna in that back corner. Instantly, I felt a rush of tears well up in my eyes, and I felt a sense of familiarity and a loving and warm welcome. My heart told me that my recently departed mother was reaching out her energies and saying to me, this is your community. This is where you belong. So I was faced with my old disgruntled patriarchal weariness and staring at the Divine Mother once again. renounced its past claim that she was a repentant prostitute. But the repercussions of nearly 1,400 years of stigma are hard to erase. My deeper studies of Mary Magdalene took me well beyond the Jesus Christ superstar, I don't know how to love him, or Da Vinci Code wife of Jesus theories, to find there is solid scriptural and theological scholarship declaring that Mary Magdalene is, in truth, the apostle to the apostles. She was the first and primary witness to the most central events in Christianity, the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. This completely captivated me and drew me deeper into this Christian tradition. In focusing on her presence in biblical scripture, all 4 Gospels mention her by name. They describe her as supporting Jesus' ministries with her funds and witnessing his crucifixion when even his well-known disciples had fled, being present at his burial, and ultimately being the first witness of his resurrection. We just heard in John chapter 20 that Jesus himself commissions her to go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. The following verse says that Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, I have seen the teacher. For me, this was huge. She was there. At every turn, a woman. The scriptures themselves reveal that this woman was unfailing and without doubt in her devotion and responsibilities. Why aren't we talking about her more, reading and learning from her example? When I read John's whole chapter 20, I gotta tell you, it looks pretty sad for Simon Peter and the beloved disciple. First, they don't believe Mary when she tells them the tomb is empty. So they both run to it, but not exactly together. They race each other, competing to get there first. Then one is afraid to go in. And when they do go in, they see that it's empty, they believe Mary, and then go home. It was Mary who stayed at the tomb, and Mary who Jesus chose to approach first. And she was the first to announce the resurrection. So where are her writings? Her teachings. Outside of canonical scripture, there does exist a fragment of a document titled The Gospel of Mary. It was discovered in a Cairo antiques market in 1896, well before the so-called Gnostic Gospels of Thomas and Philip were found at Nag Hammadi in the 1940s. The text of the Gospel of Mary is written in an Egyptian Coptic dialect, and the first translation was into German, but wasn't published until 1955. It would be another 20 years before it was translated into English, but still not readily available to the general public until the 1990s. 2 other fragments of Mary's Gospel were discovered separately, and both were written in Greek and dating to the 3rd century. Sadly, less than 50% of the text has survived. While it takes patience and prayer and a deep desire to connect with the writings, you will recognize the characters and you can get a sense of its teachings, which are far more mystical. What is left for us of the document appears to be 4 sets of dialogues where Mary is teaching and the other disciples are responding. Here is a section from a contemporary translation from Coptic to English, published in 2008. I'll start the reading at Dialogue 2. In the preceding section, in Dialogue 1, the surviving document depicts Jesus present and speaking to his students, and has just left them. We have to presume that it takes place between Jesus' resurrection and ascension. Dialogue 2. His students grieved and mourned greatly, saying, how are we to go into the rest of the world proclaiming the good news about the Son of humanity's realm? If they did not spare him, how will they ever leave us alone? Mary arose then, embracing them all, and began to address them as her brothers and sisters, saying, do not weep and grieve, nor let your hearts remain in doubt. For his grace will be with all of you, sustaining and protecting you. Rather, let us give praise to his greatness, which has prepared us so that we might become true human beings. As Mary said these things, their hearts opened toward the good, and they began to discuss the meaning of the Savior's words. Peter turned to her and said, "Sister, we know that the Savior greatly loved you above all other women. So tell us what you remember of his words, that we ourselves do not know or perhaps have never heard." Mary replied, "I will tell you then, as much as I know of what may be hidden or unknown to you." And she began to express these things to them. "I saw the Master in a vision, and I said to him, 'Master, I see you now as vision.' And he answered me, 'You are blessed, Mary, since the sight of me does not disturb you. For where the heart is, there is treasure.' So I said to him, 'Master, in this moment of vision, what sees you? Is it the soul or the spirit?' And he answered me, 'It is neither the soul nor the spirit that sees, but the eye of the heart, which is in between the two, that perceives the vision. And it is this.'" This is where the document ends, and it doesn't resume until 4 pages later. So what are we to take from all this? I don't feel that raising up Mary Magdalene suggests a female deity to worship next to Jesus. Raising Mary up asks us to pay attention to the teachings offered by her perspective as one who has wisdom. I've ceased looking for a gender balance in spirituality, which only reinforces duality. For me, God has no gender, and only our culture and traditions insert this concept. Eliminating gender in our liturgy and tradition presses us toward an inclusive totality, a wholeness in spiritual wisdom. The Episcopal Church is making great strides towards this inclusive wholeness, and we need to take this into our own hearts and do something about it in the world where this imbalance does exist and affects us all. I loudly hear Sister Joan Chittister, who is a Benedictine nun and a women's rights activist, when she says, "Nothing in this world will change until the situation with women in the world changes. You cannot simply dismiss over half the human race. Humanity, led by men, is seeing with one eye, hearing with one ear, and thinking with one half of the human brain. That's half the intelligence, half the wisdom. No wonder we're doing the things that we're doing." May the wisdom of Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Jesus, fill our hearts with a desire to do something to change the situation with women in our world. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.